Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Sydney and this is Little Slater here, and he's as usual hanging out, chilling out. And over here we have Little Hamilton, aka Hanny. We like to call him Hanny for short in this house. He's also just chilling. So in today's video, I want to be talking about some things that I would never do as a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel mom or just a dog mom in general. I'm not a vet or an expert. I'm just going over some things that I've learned from what vets told me, experts, breeders, research, and also just common sense of what I would never do as a dog parent. So the first point that I want to make is that if the weather is more than 80 or 85 degrees outside, I would never take my dogs outside to go for a walk or to play. Having the weather be so hot outside can be really detrimental to your dogs. It can lead to heat stroke, them burning their paws, dehydration, and so many other things. I always try to make sure that, especially in the summer months, that I take them out really early in the morning or super late at night when it's like more cooler. So like dusk and dawn, I would take them out. What I would also try to do as well is that I do pavement tests outside by just going outside and walking around in my bare feet, seeing how hot the pavement is. And obviously if it's too hot, I wouldn't take my dogs out there. But I highly recommend taking your dogs out for a walk or letting them play outside at dusk or dawn, especially in like the really hot like summer months, just to avoid those problems. So the second point that I want to make is that I would never give my dogs any of those like rawhide bones, cooked bones, bones with like the marrow in the middle. I've had vets tell me that those types of bones lead to GI issues, upset stomach, or like the bones getting like stuck in their jaws, and so many other issues. So I highly recommend just trying to avoid like the rawhide bones, the marrow bones, the cooked bones, and all that stuff. Actually, what you can do, I highly recommend giving your dogs raw bones. That's what everyone says to do. It can break down in their stomach a lot easier. I also like to give my dogs yak chews to chew on. Yak chews are like 100% safe. Just like when they get like super small, I highly recommend throwing them out just to avoid a choking hazard. But I'll put a link down to some yak chews below. My dogs absolutely love them, and they're just such a great like treat for them just to nibble on. The third point that I want to make is that I would never ever use human shampoo or conditioner on my dogs, especially the baby shampoo conditioner. Why? Because using a human shampoo and conditioner or baby shampoo and conditioner, which is the same thing, it can honestly dry out your dog's coat a lot, especially if you use it over time. My favorite brand of dog soap and conditioner that I like to use is Isle of the Dog. I love Isle of the Dog's products. They make their coats so shiny, so silky, they smell good, it conditions their skin. Love Isle of the Dog, great brand. This video isn't sponsored, I just love them. I've just been using them forever. Also, there's another brand that I heard is really good. I think it's called Kin and Kind. I'll link it down below, but great ingredients, great for dogs. But when you use shampoo and conditioner for dogs, just make sure you check the ingredients just to make sure everything looks good. Check for anything that looks like weird or odd. You can obviously ask a vet or ask your breeder as a reference. Now that I think about it, I don't even think that human shampoo and conditioner is even safe to use for your dog, because think about it, like a lot of the ingredients in those like shampoos and conditioners are like parabens, sulfates, silicones, like all that you're not even supposed to like put in like your actual hair. So putting that on your dog can be really concerning. So I don't think I would do that at all. And like I also too, I don't know if you guys know about the controversy that goes on. I think the brand is called Hartz. I think it's called Hartz. If not, I'll like put a picture of it right here, what it's actually called. But I heard like this brand of like shampoo and conditioner has actually been like killing dogs. People have so many complaints about brand in general, about how they use really bad ingredients, and unfortunately leads to their dogs being ill and in some cases death. Like it's so crazy. The fourth point that I want to make is that I would never leave grapes, chocolate, onions, garlic, sugar-free gum, candy with like xylitol in it within like reaching distance of my dog. All of those things that I just mentioned are really toxic for dogs, and in some cases be deadly. It can make your dog really, really sick. There was actually a story that I read on one of my Cavalier groups, which was kind of confusing because it didn't really make sense to me, was that this girl, she literally got an 8-week-old puppy, super excited about it. And she talked about how within like 2 weeks of having the dog, it passed away because it got into a bag full of Hershey Kisses. I'm just thinking to myself, how do you have a bag full of Hershey Kisses within reaching distance of your puppy? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I was kind of confused about that, but it's so sad and so unfortunate to think about. There are stories and incidences of things like that happening. So just please make sure that no grapes fall on the floor, no onions fall on the floor when you're cooking, no chocolate or candy are in like low cabinets. Put all that stuff away and away from your dogs because it can make them really, really sick. The fifth point that I want to make is that I would never, ever feed my dogs and then let them run around and play immediately right after their meal. My dogs have super sensitive stomachs, so if they eat and then like run around, they're gonna throw up everything that they just ate, which is like not good. And also too, it can lead to so many other issues as well. I had a vet tell me one of the worst scenarios that could happen to your dog as a result of eating then running around is them developing something called GDV, which is when the dog's stomach bloats and then it flips as a result. And that's an emergency. That's a really, really serious thing that can happen to your dog. Not trying to scare you guys, just, you know, full warning. I know some breeds are more prone to that. I just forgot which ones. What I typically like to do is that I put my dogs in a crate for 30 to like 45 minutes just to let them digest, settle down, or I'll put them in appended areas where they can just chill and not necessarily play. So that way they can just digest properly and not have any stomach issues. The fourth thing, and it's gonna be kind of controversial that I say this, but this is my opinion. I would never, ever take my dogs to a dog park. Hell no. Even vets will tell you not to go to dog parks because there's a possibility of your dog encountering an aggressive dog. It's a cesspool of diseases as well because you don't know what other dogs carry. And I'm not trying to like talk smack about other people's dogs, but it is a possibility you can catch a disease from another dog, especially if there's like so many of them in like one area, because you don't know if people are properly taking care of their dogs. I'm just speaking facts here too. Also, you don't know if, you know, other dogs have fleas, and fleas could get on your dog, and trust me, you don't want to deal with fleas. Been there, done that. Don't want to go back to it. I will never understand why people choose to take their dogs to dog parks if they're aggressive. That will never register to me because that's leading to the possibility of someone else's dog getting injured. And also too, sickly dogs too, like if you think that your dog is sick with something or if it's carrying something that it can also transmit to other dogs, why would you take your dog to a dog park? It absolutely makes zero sense. So all in all, avoid dog parks, because I've heard horror stories of people's dogs getting injured from aggressive dogs, diseases, and so many issues. It's just that those places are riddled with the possibility of just problems, okay? And we don't need no problems over here. And also, if their dog isn't fixed and your dog isn't fixed, I'm talking about like a male dog trying to like dominate your female dog, girl, you don't want them babies. The next point I want to talk about is dog food. I would never buy dog food without checking the expiration date first, because buying expired dog food can obviously make your dog sick if it's spoiled and all that type of stuff. A lot of people don't really think about checking, you know, the expiration date for dog food, but it's really important that you do. So the next point I want to talk about is I would never buy a dog food or a dog toy without checking to see whether or not if that brand has been through recalls or is going through a recall. Typically I hear about like dog food recalls and controversies through like my Cavalier groups that I'm on Facebook, or through my breeder who I stay in close contact with. But my number one source I would probably say is Dog Food Advisor. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about it, but it's this website that talks about dog food, and then they rank dog food from like the best to the worst. what ingredients are in it and like so much other stuff. So I highly recommend you guys signing up for like the email list for Dog Food Advisor. I'll put the link down below. They send out emails whenever there's like a dog food recall or controversy, kind of just like keeping you in the loop. I really love it. They send out emails quite often so you can really stay in the scoop of everything that's going on. And it's been so informative, and I've learned so much since, you know, signing up for the Dog Food Advisory emails. Another thing I would never do is also give my dogs rope toys. And I know I have in the past, but I honestly didn't know how bad rope toys are for dogs, because like if they eat the rope, like it can obviously like get caught up in their bowel movements, it can get caught like in their stomach and stuff like that. And in some cases, not trying to scare you, but like some people said that they've had to have like get surgery done to get like certain rope that was like in their dog's stomachs. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just gonna avoid it at all costs. Just avoid rope toys, that way they don't have to swallow or ingest the rope. Just get, you know, the Kong toys that are really, you know, strong, durable. Big boy, baby. But yeah, I highly recommend just staying away from rope toys just to avoid all those possible issues. Another thing too that I just thought of is that make sure that you don't leave mop water around, because your dogs might drink it. Like after you're done mopping the floor, some people, you know, they don't dump out their mop water immediately. They kind of just like leave it sitting there, and sometimes the dogs might get into it. So I highly recommend just not leaving that around in your house as well. In conclusion, I am 100% a helicopter dog mom. I'm always making sure that I'm doing the best as I can, making sure that I'm keeping them as safe as possible, as comfortable as possible, and just trying to provide for their super extravagant lifestyle. And yeah, I guess that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you will subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, because that'll definitely help out my channel in the long run, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.